Warriors, this is Mrs. Richards, and today I'm going to be showing you how to animate a little sprite, which is actually going to be your self-portrait. We are going to be using the piskelapp to do this, and it's really nice. It's a free website that a lot of people use to make little animated characters for games. You have two options when you go to piskelapp.com. You can either sign in or you can just go to create a sprite. If you sign in, you'll sign in with your Google login. Ask a parent before you do that, or you can just go to create a sprite. If you go to create sprite, it will not save your work. So you just have to make sure that when you're done, you download what you made. I'm just going to go to create sprite for now. This is the main Piskel interface. It's very similar to a lot of art drawing digital tools. On the side here is your toolbar. It's got your pen tool, your paint bucket, your eraser, your shapes, moving tools, all that good stuff. So as I said, we're going to make a self-portrait, and I'm going to get started with the circle tool. So I'm going to click on the circle, and then down here is where I'm going to choose a color. This is your portrait, so you do whatever you want. If you want to make it realistic, great. If you want to make it funky and pop artish, you can do that as well. I'm going to use this color right here. And then I'll figure out where I want to start my circle, and I'll just drag it into my frame. Okay. Now, if I want to kind of center this a little bit better, I can just kind of grab this and move it like that. I'm going to put it right there. Now, what's nice about the piskelapp is that it saves any colors that you've used. So you can see now that I've used this for my skin color, it's saved over here in my palette. So I'm going to go to the fill tool, and I'm going to fill in my face with that color. Next, I'm going to add a neck. Now for my neck, I want to do a color that is just slightly darker than the face. So I'm going to click on here. I'm going to pick one that's just like one below it. It's going to be a real subtle change. And I'm going to use the pen tool. And I'm going to fill this in like so. See how it's just a smidge darker. I'm also going to give myself some ears. I'm going to make them about 4 pixels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, I'm going to add a shirt. I want to do kind of a fun color. I really like pinks and purples, so sure, that looks good. I'm going to start it. I'm not just going to make it straight. I'm going to have it kind of come down like that. And then I'll make it pretty symmetrical on this side. Oops, close enough. And then I'm going to fill this with that color. All right, next I'm going to add my eyes, or the eyes of this sprite. So I'm going to go back to the pen tool, and I'm just going to get a black. And I'm going to make a line for the top of my eye that is like 3 squares across, like that. Then I'm going to switch to white. If you click on any color and then up in this corner here, you can get white. I'm going to do 3 across like that. For my pupil, which is the colored, or I'm sorry, my iris, the colored part of my eye, I'm just going to make kind of a random green here. And I'm going to put my eyes all the way to the side like that. And you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to go back to my palette. I'm going to grab my black. I'm going to give myself a nose. Well, big nose. Why not? And then I'm going to give myself just like a flat mouth like that. Okay. Next, I'm going to do hair. And I'm going to do a boy's hair just to show you how I would do that, because I think it's a little bit trickier than girls' hair. I'm going to follow the outlines of my head pretty much. And then when I get to the ears, I'm going to come down like this and give myself a little sideburn. Okay, like that. Now your hair doesn't have to be totally symmetrical. Is our hair symmetrical every day? No. So maybe a little bit of difference like that. So there is my main sprite. Now what I'm going to do next is duplicate it. So if you go over here, this is like my control panel. I'm going to click on duplicate this frame. When I click that, an exact replica appears right here. Now with this one, I'm going to change the eyes. So I'm going to go back here to the white, and I'm going to get rid of my green, choose my green again, and put this in the center now. Now what you'll notice is over here, you're going to see your animated sprite. So they animate it for you. If your image is really small, click on this button right here. So if you have a really small image like this where it says one time, Change it to full so it fills up the full screen. Now look at how fast his eyes are moving back and forth. I can speed him up or I can slow him down. I'm going to slow him down just a smidge. So I'm going to do like that. Then I'm going to play with my mouth too. So I'm going to select the black and I'm going to make it so that his mouth is like opening a little bit. So I look over at my sprite. Yep, looks like his mouth is opening. Now I'm going to duplicate this frame. So make sure I have 2 selected and click the little duplicate button here. Now I've got another little frame. I'm going to move my pupils over again. Like that. And then I'm going to make his mouth even more smiley or open and fun, like that. And we can see our little sprite over here. Okay. I want him to cycle through this. It's going to create a loop. So it goes from 1 to 2 to 3 to 1. It looks okay right here, except he goes from a wide open mouth to a completely shut mouth. So to make that a little bit more fluid, I'm going to go back to slide 2 and I'm going to duplicate that one. So now we can see that he kind of cycles through all the way. Looks good. Now we're going to export this. Remember that, especially if you didn't sign in, this isn't going to save. So I'm going to go over here to the mountains and I'm going to click export. Make sure your resolution is at about 500. If it's really low, you're going to get a really small fuzzy picture. So try and bump it up to about 500. I'm going to save it as a GIF and I'm going to hit download. And this is going to save to my downloads. So this download is called newpiskel4.exe.